So, I recently played a game on Steam called Mortal Shell, and after finishing it, the game got me thinking a lot about expectations in video games, and how it affects gamers, developers, and the community as a whole. Mortal Shell didn't, well, in my opinion, get as much attention as it deserved, and for the small amount of attention it received, I felt it received a lot of harsh criticism. I posted a review on the game and found that not a lot of people shared the same opinion. So, it got me thinking, how are games viewed and received in the modern day market? Mortal Shell is a Souls-like action RPG that is semi-open world. Souls-like. What exactly do we as a community define as Souls-like today? Games that are branded and marketed like Dark Souls? Games that are difficult? Action games? Any sort of RPG? The term Souls-like has become watered down and memed to high hell because of expectations today.
I think we've kind of made the Dark Souls of competitive first-person shooters.
This excellent sequel to one of the first great non-From Software Souls-like games.
Nioh owes a lot to Dark Souls.
Frequent difficulty spikes and underwhelming gear system rob it of the consistently tough but fair feeling that gives Souls games.
If you've heard or seen anything about Code Vein, you know the elevator pitch. Do a Dark Souls, but make it anime.
Just like Dark Souls!
And because of the grandeur of Dark Souls, most games miss on that expectation. They fail to deliver. But that is much a fault of the gaming community as it is the developers. Whenever a game tries to stay too close to a winning formula, Souls-like for example, they often get targeted and accused of being copies and rip-offs. But whenever a game is marketed as Souls-like, because as a community we have made that a genre, and a game doesn't deliver on that front, developers are ripped for straying too far away from a winning formula, trying to fix something that isn't broken. The expectation of Souls-like is both a blessing and curse for a developer. To have your game recognised as something that can create that same kind of majesty and glory that Dark Souls creates must be euphoric for a developer, but to then have to deliver that is quite a feat. I'm quite a big fan of Dark Souls, to say the least. That's the reason why I played Mortal Shell in the first place, and I think this game does something really great. For me, it captures that Dark Souls feel without making itself look like that. You wake up in a strange location, you learn your way around, getting a feel for the game, and then BAM! Boss fight. Straight away the game makes you aware that you're in a world that doesn't care about you, and won't give you an easy ride. The game isn't overly difficult, but it presents that Souls-like feel whilst putting its own twist on it, and it does it brilliantly. It met my expectation. It was a Souls-like, but it wasn't trying to be like Dark Souls. It has its own beauty and character. You can feel where the inspiration has come from in the game. You know, and developers know that this is a Souls-like game, but it offers something more, something that all Souls-like games should offer. A reason to stand out from Dark Souls. And Mortal Shell does a great job of this. As a community, we have become too wrapped up in what our expectations are for video games. But video games are the most beautiful form of artistry in the world, and the developer's expectation for a video game they're creating goes beyond, well, I hope it has difficult boss fights, I hope this game has a weapon upgrade system, I'll be really pissed off if it has no base building mechanics. Our expectations as the consumer is focused around the sole purpose we play games, fun. And that isn't a bad thing. The reason we play games is for a sense of release and escapism, a victory royale, a working space station, a no-hit run. We as gamers accomplish these things because it's what we want and expect from games. This is why games are so beautiful, because of what they can offer to individuals and communities. The way you play and experience a game will be monumentally different to the way someone else plays and experiences them. And that's fantastic. But for a developer it's more. It's a vision, an idea, a foundation, a way of life, a piece of art. They have put their blood, sweat, tears into this. They've constructed their lives around this. The expectations developers and creators have for their games is to be remembered and to see their visions realised. Gamers the world over would have been happy if The Last of Us 2 was just Joel and Ellie travelling across the country again, but the developers clearly had a plan and a vision for the game. The game is a work of art, and we remember it because of the emotions and feelings we had for the game.
somehow the Lord gave me a second chance at that moment, I would do it all over again.
I play a lot of games. I often play my favourites like Dark Souls, RimWorld, Factorio, XCOM. However, I also play a lot of games where I know nothing about them. I buy them on Steam and honestly just hope for the best, because that way I have no expectations of the game. I can't compare it to something beforehand and put the game at a disadvantage. I do this so that I can hopefully try to see exactly what a developer is trying to create, what they're trying to paint in front of me. By doing this, I can see the nuts and bolts of the game, the imperfections and the impurities, but I can also see what this game is in its rawest form, a piece of art. I can try to understand the visions behind the game, and ultimately, I think this is the best way to play games, the best way to enjoy games and appreciate them. Expectations around games and gaming has ultimately defined us as a community, but we can't let those expectations always define what we look for and want from a game. Through the unknown, we'll find the new.